Channel. Happy Monday, start of a new week. Had a delicious candle opening today on the new daily. As you guys are jumping in, if you can just let me know if you can hear me, because I'm on a different mic today because my keyboard for some reason is not working, and so I need to use the port to connect it. So yeah, just let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to talk a little bit louder because this mic is further away from me. But yeah, I will do my best. How good is BTC? Yeah, how good is BTC today? But I want to definitely show you a few things to be careful of with Bitcoin right now. So I'm going to get into that. We're going to do, thank you, Claudia. You guys can hear me. That's awesome. We're going to do a bit of a deep dive into Bitcoin. I want to talk about Ethereum. Ethereum is a much easier chart to chart at the moment. And if we have time, I've got a couple of other altcoins we can go through. Just doing some majors today, nothing low cap or high risk or anything like that. And if we have time, we will do some requests as well. So let's see how we go. Let's take a look at, first of all, Bitcoin. So during the weekend, this is what I was looking for, was this triangle breakout. Now, I did take a long out of this. I think I actually took it when we broke this level, was charting off the 1 hour. So I am in a long position on Bitcoin. I remember on the last video, I told you guys that I had a long position from way down here, and I was looking to open a second one, just a short-term day trade. So I have done that, and I'm currently in that position now, as well as an Ethereum position as well. So we can talk about that. But there's a few things on Bitcoin that I want to point out. We'll just look at the charts first. So currently looking at the 4 hour, looks like a breakout. We may, that is quite a bit of a move today. So we may come back and retest some of these levels here. We'll look for exactly where we may retest. However, is this the long-term kind of pump that's going to take us to the 100K levels? Well, I think we have to look into some other things before we can decide that. So just looking at this move here for the moment, this might not be the end of the push. So may need to reassess fibs if this doesn't close as a bearish candle. But yeah, looking at this April high at 64,800 is probably one level for a retest. I'd also be looking at the previous resistance here, which is around 38 fibs. And then even a bit down further at around, probably around just a little bit below the 50 at 62,800. Would I be taking a long position now if I didn't get the long position out of here? I wouldn't, and I'm going to explain why. However, I have some data to show you that may tell us to be cautious, but also may be telling us to be extremely bullish. So it's quite conflicting at the moment. So I would be prepared for flag entries on Bitcoin if we start to pull back a little bit. But yeah, there's a few things we've got to look at. So we will do that. What else have we got? We are looking at Bitcoin at the moment. So this is a 4 hour chart, currently overbought on the 4 hour. Who cares? No one cares about that in a bull market. Let's have a look at the daily RSI. So daily RSI is looking to come up into these areas. But again, as we've mentioned many times on this channel, that the RSI can sit in the overbought region for quite some time before it actually pulls back. So that doesn't mean too much right now, just means it's healthy, really. So daily is looking good. 4 hour is looking good. Doesn't particularly look like it wants to pull back just yet. There's one thing that I'm going to take this fibs off so we don't get confused by it, but one thing I kind of want to point out about Bitcoin just to watch out for is that I have noticed throughout this whole bull run, especially after we dropped from 65 to 30K, that Bitcoin tends to like to create a new high that is only a couple of $1,000s above the last high, then do a big sell-off. And this is one example here. So we know that back in April, we hit 64,800, close to 65,000 before we had that big sell-off. And when we got back up there just, what was that, a couple of weeks ago, I did put out there to the private community that I think we were going to reject at 67K, and I had no technical analysis behind that. It was just gut feel, and that's exactly what happened. The gut feel comes from recognizing that when Bitcoin pushes, it likes to lately just push a little bit past the last high, then do a big sell-off like this. So what does that mean? Let's see if it happens again. Obviously, it's not a guarantee. It's just a bit of a theory that I've noticed lately. But maybe Bitcoin will push up to that, 69, 70K, get all those last minute retail FOMOers buying in before it does a big sell-off. So just be careful of that. It does tend to happen just a little bit short of round numbers. So if you're already long, you might want to protect your trades as we get close to those levels, or take partial profit or something like that. So now the things that I wanted to show you to be wary of, first of all, is we want to look at this leverage ratio, which was a concern the last time I went live, and it's still a concern now. Because it has been creeping up even further. We're currently sitting at 0.194. And just to give you a comparison, back here in May when we had the huge sell-off, the leverage ratio at that point was 0.18. So we are actually above that huge, we're above the ratio that we were at during that huge sell-off. Do I think that means a huge sell-off is coming? No. But I do think that the balance of leverage the leverage needs to be rebalanced, and I'm just cautious of when that might happen. There's a part of me that, because of this, thinks that this could very much be, the run that we're having now could very much be a suckers rally, just to give us that final push, have us thinking, this is going to take us to the 98K target for the end of November. Everybody FOMOs in, flush out the market, level off the leverage, then we actually go up. So that's making me very cautious seeing this, but I want to combine it with some other things. So having a look at the all exchanges stablecoin ratio. Now, this tells us two things. It tells us, the stablecoin reserves is what it's telling us, but what it means is, if you can see the stablecoin reserves rising, it means that people are either getting ready to buy altcoins or they're getting ready to buy dips. So if it's altcoins, that's fantastic because that's extremely bullish for us. But if it's buying dips, then we can, it's a bit of a hint that a sell-off might be coming. So just having a look at this purple line here, this is the stablecoin ratio. So you can see here that it's basically creating higher highs and higher lows, slowly creeping up. So that's just one thing to be cautious of. The combination of the high leverage ratio with the stablecoin ratio, it could just give us a little bit of a hint of what the bigger players are thinking to do right now. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you today, which is a little bit more important, well, not important, but it provides conflict, is the all exchanges reserve. So this is how much Bitcoin is being stored on exchanges as opposed to in private wallets, for example. And the idea behind it is that if this purple line is decreasing, which we can see here, if the purple line is decreasing, it means people are moving their Bitcoin off exchanges and into private wallets. And the only reason you do that is because you're long-term bullish, right? So it's actually a very good sign to see this going down. Let's just zoom into this area that we're looking at, more recently since we started heading back up. And you can see here that the current reserve, it's super low. So this is extremely bullish. So for this reason, the best conclusion that I can draw from all of this is that we are due for a flush out. However, the market is overall extremely bullish. So if we do get a flush out, it's a buying opportunity. That, in my opinion, That's what I think I have to watch. I want to watch this, but I have to take the kids to school. Don't worry, it's recorded and you can watch it later. Damn kids. But anyway, so yeah, that my feeling for this is I don't think it's over. Certainly don't think it's over for the bull run. I think that we do need to rebalance. We probably will come back. I don't know how dramatic it's going to be with that high leverage. It could be. But then again, the market is extremely bullish. So prepared to buy dips at every point in time. So now that we know all of this, actually, there's one other thing that I wanted to show you before I head back to the charts is this tweet from Will Clemente saying, during the last 3 volume squeezes Bitcoin has undergone, it first faked out to grab liquidity from breakout traders before reversing. Is this time different? Potentially. But that's a perfect example of what I was talking about before, where Bitcoin pushes that couple of K past the last high, then does a big sell-off. So yeah, let's see how this plays out. All of that stuff just gives me reason to be cautious right now. So looking at Bitcoin, there's not really much to say other than we may keep pushing. Be careful that it may be a fake out. So if you are in longs, I would probably be just slowly creeping up my stop loss to try and protect as much profit as possible in case, we get that big sell-off overnight. And I probably wouldn't be opening new longs at this point in time. Now, let's just have a look at potential targets on Bitcoin. So one thing that I am kind of watching with Bitcoin is if we draw fibs on this last move here, we can see that Bitcoin came back to the 50 fib level before its next push. So this is potentially a wave 1, 2, and this is potentially wave 3 that was just a consolidation, and we're possibly into wave 5 now, or this is just a continuation of wave 3. So based off that, I want to just do a bit of a target of where Bitcoin might push to now before it actually does sell off. So we've already passed the 100% level, and we've already passed the 100% level. So we're now moving into the 127 level. Sorry, let me just mark that off. Actually, I'll mark it off with a flat line. So we're looking at around, what does that take us to? Just under 70K. Once you reach an all-time high, the best way to sort of gauge where bears are going to be at is at round numbers. So the fact that the 127 takes us to 69,958, it's very close to 70K, makes sense that may be where we push to next. Failing that, if we do remain extremely bullish, then we're looking at the 161.8 at 78,224. I'm doubtful. I'm honestly doubtful. I'll make this a bit bigger. Sorry, guys, so you can see it. I forget sometimes. But yeah, I'm doubtful we'll get up there. Who knows? I'd love to be surprised because I would just keep my longs open. But this does look like, it kind of makes sense at this point in time. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, so for Ethereum, basically watch the 70K level is the moral of the story. If we get a nice sell-off, there's a nice shorting opportunity from there. If we push through it, then we're just watching to see around the 78K level. Keeping your longs protected for now, probably not the best to open new longs. So looking at Ethereum is much easier to chart, and I want to go to, I'm on the daily. I want to go to this to show you, because Ethereum is putting in a much more, what's the word? Correct, which is not the word, but Elliott wave. It's just putting in an absolutely delicious Elliott wave right now. So this is the wave 1 push, and this was the sell-off, and this here is currently the wave 3. Now that takes us, the first target for wave 3 at the 100% level is going to be around 49.50. And again, round number, right under the 5K, kind of makes sense that that's where bears will be hanging out. Ethereum is looking very bullish right now, so it may push past it. But at this point in time, that's definitely the level that I'm watching for rejection. If we do get that, then it's going to be very easy to figure out where to buy for the next run. It's going to confirm that this current push is wave 3. So then you could expect, say, a 38 fib level pullback. So let's just do that as an estimation. Let's just say we do pull up to this level. Around the 38 fib level, we'll bring this down a bit, is going to be a retest of wave 1. Perfect. So that's going to bring Bitcoin down around, say, 4,100. Definitely would be a huge buying opportunity if that were to play out that way. That's my target for now, based on Ethereum getting to, or just falling short of 5K. If Ethereum keeps pushing to these other wave targets, that's going to change the pullback level. Just be aware we're in the middle of a wave 3 right now, so I can't actually set a target. But what I would be watching for on Ethereum right now is a rejection at around 5K. Easily getting ready to load up again around 4,100 if we can pull back that far. So exactly. This is a much cleaner Elliott wave right now. I really do love it. So, obviously I made a mistake, LD, saying Bitcoin. I meant Ethereum. I think that was obvious. But anyway, that's what I'm watching for with Ethereum. I really do love this chart. Currently, we're not yet in the overbought region, so we may push up a little bit further. It's all just making sense. It's just making sense that we should head to that region. So that's what I'm watching on Ethereum. If it does do a big rejection there, it's probably going to be a market-wide rejection. And so what I would do right now, if I was a trader looking for opportunities, I would be thinking about all of the things that I felt that I missed out on previously, that I think it's now too late for me to get into, and I would be charting those for pullback levels and get ready to buy if we do have that big sell-off. I think this may be, potentially one of the best spots to get in on anything you missed out before the end of the year. So what else do I want to talk about? Actually, I wanted to quickly go through the VPVR on both of these and just have a look at the volume levels for targets. So looking, we probably only need, we'll do it on the 4 hour, and we probably only need this area here. Yeah, so let's look at this. So just looking at where the highest volume is, if we do get pullbacks, because that's going to show you where people are willing to play ball. So if this does reject and pull back, currently the highest volume is at around 61,000 for Bitcoin. Now let's just say that did happen. So let's just measure it out. If we did get up to the 127 and pull back, that's only going to be a 12% pullback. I think that actually makes sense, to be honest with you. If we push up to the 127 and then have a big sell-off, that's kind of the area that I'd be looking at to buy. And that would definitely flush out the over leverage that we have in the market right now. So looking at that, that's a good level. If we fail that level, the next level is down at 54, 55K, which again, I think would be a good level to buy. Just depends on how dramatic this sell-off is going to be when it comes. Not too sure. Either way, I don't really care how dramatic it is, because I think it's going to be a short-term sell-off. If it happens, it may not happen, but I think it's going to be a short-term sell-off, and I think it's going to be a buying opportunity. Probably the last time I will buy in this bull run, or until the end of the year. If the bull run lasts longer, then I'll reassess. Looking at the volume on Ethereum, let's just zoom this out a little bit. And we're looking at 35. I don't think we'll come down to 35, but looking at these 42. So 4,200 is a high volume area. 4,100 is where I was thinking price might come back to. So between 41 and 42, is going to be amazing if we can, once we do have a pullback, get back to those levels. I think that's going to be amazing. That's all I really wanted to have a look at with the VPR on those. This question, I think it's soon, honestly. And when I say soon, I think tomorrow, day after, maybe the day after that, somewhere within the next 3 days. It's just too much leverage to keep rising like this. So I really don't think it's far. And yeah, just the fact that we've had this big push today, it's really making me uneasy that to have a push like that with that increase of leverage, something doesn't add up. And I think it's designed to hurt us. Anyway, let's have a look at, before I go into any other coins, I just want to take a quick look at Bitcoin dominance, which of course is going to be up today. Yeah, so as long as this dominance keeps pushing, I think Bitcoin will probably keep pushing, but that just means all eyes on Bitcoin right now. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum dominance to give us it's just ranging. That's nothing exciting to talk about. Total insane. We are at 2.8 trillion total market cap. We are so close to the 3 trillion mark. That's insane. There's talk of potentially being a 10 trillion market cap by the end of this bull run. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be crazy money. Let's look at total 3 because that doesn't include Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so this is rising, putting in a higher high. What this tells us is that people are very bullish on altcoins. So definitely worth doing some altcoin hunting if you're looking for positions and looking for some of those things that haven't moved too much yet. Speaking of which, let's talk about some things that may give us an entry if we do get that big sell-off, but potentially may also be a breakout buy if it doesn't happen at all. So wanting to look at ADA, I think I talked about ADA last time, and it's still in the same spot, getting ready for that breakout. So I talked about this pattern on one of my last videos. When ADA pushed up from here and had a big sell-off, came back to the 61, had its next push, came back to the 61. This is the area in this red box that I'm sort of looking if we come back there, could potentially be a buy if we hold there. And the reason that I think it may come back there is simply because, let me make this really nice and big for you. We have wicked into that zone once before, so it sort of makes sense that we will come back, pick up the rest of the liquidity, and then potentially break out from there. So I am still bullish on ADA. I heard some things about the Sunday swap or whatever today. I mean, it hasn't moved ADA yet, so I don't know if that's confirmed news or whatnot. But yeah, I would ideally like to get an entry down here as long as it holds there. However, if we do get that massive leverage, that takes out all of those long positions, this could actually fall back a lot more. So I'm definitely not looking to buy into any altcoins over the next 3 days. I want to see if that flush out happens. And then I'll be looking to get back in. But, that flush out could bring us down to create one more touch to this lower trend line, then break out from there. And so I'm still definitely looking for longs on ADA, just not doing it unless we hold in this zone or we break out of this trend line here and create new bullish market structure. Sold to the moon. Yeah, sold to the moon, literally. So let's look at XRP is another one, which has really just sort of been lagging for a really long time. What am I on? The daily. So looking at XRP, we've just broken out today. Again, I think that if we get that pullback, it's potentially going to pull us back into this zone and give us a nice retest entry. So I'm certainly not going to take this as a breakout and FOMO into XRP. I think this sort of a level here, if we get a nice, let me just mark that out for you. if we come back here and get a nice dip into there, then push out, as long as we hold above that boxed area. So above, let me move this here, hold above, say what's that, $1? Yeah, 1.06. If we can hold above there, if we do have a pullback, then I think that will be a buy, because it is going to create a higher high, and we just now will have a new trend. So definitely like that. And then we'll be looking at the previous high as a final target, but would expect it to push further than that if we can eventually break out, because this here is actually very similar to this here. These patterns are almost repeated. So if we draw this, say somewhat like that, then from that triangle there, which looks like this triangle here, that had a huge move out. So I would be looking to hold this as a position until the end of the year, potentially, as long as I get a really good juicy position on it. Already spot position on XRP, but we'll look to take out a leverage position here if I get what I want. So what else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about theta. Where is that? Here. And theta is doing something similar as well. So very high time frame. Well, very high time frame. It's a daily time frame. Symmetrical triangle for the longest period of time known to man. It's ready to break out. Like, enough now, we're bored, like, let's do something. So this is looking good in here. We've had these push, we've had high lows, push, might come back for another high low, would be ideal. If we get that high low within the triangle, that's the entry for me. So pretty much going to draw a new trend line around here. And if we can come down here, bounce off that trend line one more time, then I would expect that we will break the resistance next and continue further up. So let me mark that out as an actual area that I'm looking at. Probably going to look between this level here. So what is that? That is about $7. $6.50 to $7 is going to be an ideal buy zone for me on that one. Lots of chatter in the ether, lots of XR. There's always XRP bulls, but they must have been bored the last few months, I tell you. It's been absolutely nothing to do with XRP. Anyway, that's how I feel about theta. Again, just all of these, I already have spot positions in all of these, so I'm pretty stress-free, but I'm looking to get some low leverage longs on them if I can. So these are going to be my entry conditions, and just holding them till, hopefully December if they continue up from here. So got a question here. Will you be selling all your cake at the end of the bull run or continue to stake it? Yeah, I'm selling all my altcoins. So I did do a video on, I think it was Monday last week, or anyway, the last video I did on YouTube talked about my exit plan for crypto. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. But yes, I will. I'm not holding altcoins through a 95% correction. I'm not crazy. All right, what else do I want to talk about? Link was another one. I don't have that marked here. Let's have a look at Link. So Link as well, just doing a beautiful potential Elliott wave. So this would be wave one here. This is the pullback here, and currently potentially making wave three. Won't be confirmed until the wave is over. So my targets for that is around 44, depending on how bullish it is, 49. I kind of like that this target lines up with the last high. That's sort of looking good to me. But the thing with this is we have a very strong level of resistance here. So I wouldn't be entering on Link right now if you weren't already in it, because we're just way too close to resistance. So you need to wait to see if we get there. If we get a rejection, a higher low is going to be an entry to take up to one of these profit levels, or a breakout. If we break out of that resistance and retest it, that wouldn't be my play. I'd rather buy it cheap. So I'm not really looking to buy it on a breakout. But if we draw a trend line up like this. Let's see if something like this happens where maybe it does push up there, maybe it does reject as part of the market-wide sell-off. That would be perfect. Then create that higher low, come back up, dance around in this little triangle here, then eventually break out. If all of that happens, my entry is going to be, would be off this high low here. So I'd be looking at somewhere around here. Again, depending on A, if we get a sell-off, and B, how dramatic that sell-off is. But yeah, 28 to 30 at this point in time, that's if we have a mild sell-off. It definitely could end up being much bigger than this. We don't know at this time. I'm having trader's block. Is that a thing? Yeah, I think you need to step away, take a day off, go outside is so important. Take your shoes off, feel the grass. Yeah, have a day, no computer, no trading, and you will come back so refreshed the day after. Like literally, it's the answer. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking now. So I know like markets rallying probably feels like I missed out on everything. But yeah, if you look at all that other data, it just kind of feels like you should be careful anyway. And it'll come. If it doesn't come in the next 3 days, a sell-off is going to come eventually. It has to, and that will be your opportunity to get in. I certainly don't think that the bull market is anywhere near ending. Okay, do we have any coin requests that anybody would like me to look at? I've probably got, I don't know, maybe another 5-10 minutes. Can look at some of your requests if anyone is interested. I love this comment. Ada, do something. Hopefully soon. Let me see. What is your take on Solana? Do you mean Solana? My take is that I love it, and yeah, I'm all about it. So Solana, I've been in since $25. I think, let's see, does this chart have my targets on it? Or, oh, hang on. Or do I need to, oh, it does, yay. So Solana, this is an old chart. This was the entry point from the private. So guys, if you're not in our private community, I don't know what's wrong with you, because we're talking about Solana down here. First time we were talking about Solana was $10 before we had the sell-off, the 65 to 30K sell-off. Second time for an entry was 25. I've been holding it ever since then. I believe that's an 800% return. So yeah, if you're not in there, then jump in. The Discord is free. The link to the Discord is in the bio of this video. Jump in there if you want to take a deep dive and, you know, really like master your trading. There's also a trading education course that you can do. And I do weekly market scans on that as part of that, where I go through everything that I'm thinking of trading that week and explain why. And it's much longer than what I can do on YouTube. It's a full, you know, usually 2-hour live Zoom session. You get to ask me questions and whatnot. So yes, if you are learning and keen to like really nail this, I'm not the only professional trader on the team. There's 3 others as well. So there's many people to learn from and many traders in there. All the links are in the description of my video, so check that out. So talking about Solana. So Solana, this was the push and the pullback here. This is now wave 3 right here. So no need for me to fully chart it again because it's all here. But the targets that I'm looking at for what could be wave 3 is initially at around 300. If we get past there, 360, then 427. But again, it may come around, chop around a bit. I'm not saying it's going to go straight there, but my overall target is kind of up at these levels. I do think it makes sense for Solana to get to at least the $400 mark. This will run probably further, but 400 to be conservative. It's just a matter of riding the wave. So definitely buying the dips on that one. What else is there in here? Can you please look at DOT? I can look at DOT. Let's talk about DOT. Okay. Yes. Okay. This is what I had marked out for DOT. So DOT's a little bit of a harder one to talk about right now. It is in price discovery and it's kind of just holding that level, not really doing anything. We did have this push and this pullback. So really all you can kind of do on DOT right now is replicate that. So if I was to draw fibs from the bottom to this push here, we came back to between 38 and 50. This current push may not be over, but just looking at these levels here, between 38 and 50 lines up to this level. So that's what I'm looking for. If we do get a nice, decent pullback on it, what does that bring us back to? Around $42, I think would be a really good spot to pick up some more DOT. But it may not happen. The other level to watch is kind of this one here, which is 40, say 43. So yeah, I think that would be a very healthy pullback before it keeps going. I don't have my long-term targets on this, but I know it's something around 90. Let's just see if we can redraw this and see if we can figure it out. No, I can't figure it out from there. So let's do it. How did I do it? I think I did it on a bigger scale. So from here, does this work? No, didn't. Must have just done it as a fib. Yeah, I must have done it as a fib level. So I'm looking at, I think this is what I was looking at. Let's go back here. So this fib level, when we pushed up to here and then sold off, that is currently pushed up to the minus 1618, which may not be over yet. So we still have to wait and see. So if this pushes up to the minus 161.8 as well, then we're looking at $73 DOT. Potentially going to go further than that, but that's going to be the short-term target. So if we get something lucky enough to be a pullback, either to retest the previous resistance right here or a nice pullback into this zone, then that's definitely going to be a buy there to buy with a target of around $72. I could probably do one more. Let me just see what is in here. Let me see. Oh, there's lots in here. I don't think I will get to them all. Okay, some of these comments I'm not going to share publicly. Oh, okay. So it looks like we've got a bit of a Schiller in the comments. Yeah, no thanks. No, thank you. Adam. All right, let's look at Adam. Where is Atom? Atom was one that I was in because it's extremely bullish, and I actually sold out of Atom. And the reason is because I just think it's done so much already. Like if we zoom out on Atom, and look, I could be totally wrong, so don't pay attention to me. But from here, it's already done 3,000% pretty much. So it's like, well, what's the likelihood? Like, am I better off having that capital in, a newer kind of gaming coin or something like that, and where it might have the potential to still do the 3,000 instead of this that's already done the 3,000. So that's how I made up my mind with Atom. And so I'm no longer holding Atom, but I do still think it's good. But just, for the purpose of maximizing my capital as much as possible with what is left of the bull run, this didn't make sense to me. So Atom's a bit difficult at the moment. It seems to just be ranging between these two levels, which are really wide levels. This is technically a lower high. I kind of don't like that we had that big pump, then that sell-off, like literally right back to that level. So that's not ideal. However, the positive side of Atom is that it is putting in higher lows. So higher lows, lower highs might eventually create a squeeze and lead to a breakout. So let's just assume that this little candle here, because it had this big sell-off here, was a fake out. And so let's discount that and draw a trend line because we have that belief that it's a fake out. Draw that trend line like that. And then draw this one like this. Then that's probably what I'd be watching for, a breakout either way, most likely a breakout to the upside. And these are the two levels. So a breakout above 35.4 is long opportunity. A breakout below 34, say 34, 34 is going to be a selling opportunity. Yeah, not too sure. Don't love this chart, to be honest with you. But yeah, Luna, let's look at Luna. I really have to go, but I'm like having fun with you guys. I'm just going to sit on here for a little bit longer. Luna's very difficult to chart right now because, I mean, what are we doing? Luna to the moon, literally to the moon. It's impossible. We don't even have a decent enough pullback to set targets on. Let's just draw from here. Luna's one of those ones that's just gone a little bit too crazy. If you're in it, there's no reason to get out of it. Getting into it is a little bit of a gamble at this point in time. So probably looking at up at around 64 target at the moment if you're already in it. But it is trending beautifully. There's just not really anywhere decent to get in right now if you were. But as far as like just holding it, it's certainly worth holding. Just keeps pushing and creating new highs and not having that big of a sell-off. So let's talk about if it does sell off. If the market does get it sell off, where would we get in on this? So let me see. What demand zones have we got here? Let's have a look at the 4 hour. I would definitely say that is an area there. So that is around 46. What is that going to be? Yeah. If Bitcoin sells off 12-ish%, alts will probably sell off 20%. So I'd be looking at that. And I'd also be looking at this area as well. 43 if you're lucky. Yeah, looking at those two. If we get a pullback, otherwise it's just too late to buy. Chillet was a great call. Thank you. Glad you got it. There was another one too. I think Step and Mango did well from what I can remember from that call. All right, guys. I better leave it there. I had a lot of fun with you guys today. Thank you for all your questions and giving me stuff to go through. I'll try and get back on maybe Wednesday and we can do some more of your requests as well if you like. Just before we do go, please, if you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Forgot to say any of that at the start. Hopefully you did it anyway, but it really does help me grow this channel if you don't mind doing that. And also don't forget about the crypto case competition. I really want to give that away before the bull run ends. Those coins have they've done really well and I want to see that go to people who deserve it. So yes, just make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so that you can be notified every time I go live. And I'll see you next time for some more of your requests. Enjoy your evening. See you later.